Hey, good evening and welcome. Welcome to a photo editing stream. I am your friendly neighborhood E-Royvis, aka Brian, and I'm actually joined tonight. We had a special treat. We have the model herself, my dear friend McKenna, who's joining me while I do this first round of editing for tonight. So good evening, my friend.
It's been a while.
It has been. It has been. Like over a year since our last shoot together.
Yup.
It's been a hot minute.
But well worth the wait.
I would say so.
Yeah, we got some good stuff done.
We did. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Of the shoots we've done together, I think I had the most out of this set that I was like in love with. Not that I don't love like all of the shoots we do together, but I think this one had like in terms of sheer numbers the most that I'm just like images I'm obsessed with.
Yeah, you shared a bunch of the unedited ones on your Instagram, and I was just like, all right, cool. I was thrilled. So tonight, I appreciate you giving me some of your personal faves beforehand. So that's going to be the bulk of what I'm working with tonight. Although I'm going to edit a few of my own personal faves tonight. So, but we are in for a treat. So welcome on in, my friends, and if you are unfamiliar with my photography, once again, I go by Brian J. French. I'm a professional photographer, and if you are curious about the type of work I do, I'll just type in exclamation point art, and there pops up in the chat the link to my card page. It's sort of like the page of all of the links. So there you'll find my website and my Instagram and my Vero and Patreon and all of the links, so you can see all the different types of photography that I do. And McKenna, feel free to plug your own socials as well in the chat if you are on Twitch at the moment. So
I am watching Twitch. I am, however, not logged in. So it won't actually let me chat, and I don't remember my login information. So
all right, cool. then I will find it for you, as I have that power. So let's get you up in here. I just did a couple days ago, like, my routine computer maintenance, so it's like now it's like it cleared my browser history, so I had to like re-log into everything. It's like, no. Alright, there you are. So McKenna's Instagram is right there.
Yep.
JJ Dress Up Trunk. So,
And
yeah, so
that's my only one that I am at least somewhat active on. I don't know. I kind of forget it exists, but you can see a lot of my stuff there. You can see a lot of Brian's stuff there.
yeah, I take up a good chunk of your your Instagram page. I regret nothing, so
Nor should you.
So this particular shoot, so again, the last time we did a photo shoot together before this one was back in July of 2023. That was for a LARP character. This is completely different.
Yes, this is just me having fun.
So I'll start editing. You start yakking about the
Okay.
genesis for this.
So, I do a lot of sewing with corsets. They are my favorite thing to make, and I had just made a couple of pieces that I thought turned out really well, and I wanted to do some showing off of them, and I thought it would be fun to do a fun Edwardian lingerie boudoir type type situation. I looked at a bunch of, excuse me, old-timey Victorian and Edwardian photos for inspiration, and went and got some fun accessories and a very fun wig. And yeah, I just wanted to have a good time.
So this was just sort of an idea that was just burning in your brain, more or less.
Yep. Unfortunately, I did not have the ability to recreate my favorite photos, though I did try with a couple of them. I don't know if any of them are in this. I don't think I put any on my favorites list, but yeah.
Because
There are. Oh, continue.
like this particular shoot is just like all the ones I've done of you to this point were of cosplays. They were of almost all of them of like various characters that you've done for LARPs. This wasn't. This was just, hey, I want to do this. This was
Yeah, because like these two pieces that I sewed here, the corset and the combinations, I think are two of my best pieces that I've made overall. I love how the combinations turn out. I love the fabric that I used for them. I love the lace and the ribbon details. And I think I did a really good job with like the ruffles and whatnot. My previous attempt at making combinations, the fabric I used was slightly thicker than was ideal for this type of undergarment, and while they were comfortable and looked really nice, they just, I don't know, the vibes weren't right. And I used cheap Walmart lace, and eventually the lace died, and I can't actually fix those. So it was time for a new pair. This is a pattern by Blue Fine Goods on Etsy. Very easy to follow, very simple construction. You don't have to do the lace insertions that I did. There are instructions both for lace insertion and without it. Yeah, they're comfy, they're cute, and would recommend the pattern 100%. It's also very easy to follow. There are very clear instructions. We got Low Bass Guy asking how is
oh yes, Low Bass Guy, who is the guy behind a community of artists that I'm on Discord called the Web Created Community. You can see the little logo there on the lower left, which it's made up of a lot of photographers, and he's sort of the brains behind it. So, good photographer in his own right, does a lot of reptile and insect photography.
Ooh,
so I am.
My husband's a reptile guy, so.
So yeah, so you check out his Instagram, and Low Bass Guy, you can fire your Instagram link in the chat. But otherwise, I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
I think we is both good.
Yes, we is both good. So I am here. So I am currently editing images with of my good friend McKenna, who is on the audio with me tonight. So the model herself is present while I am editing these images.
Just give this link a click.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Ooh, that gator photo or croc, I don't actually know how to tell the difference, but the greens on that are, oh man.
I don't mean to alarm you, but there is a disembodied voice nearby. No, yes, that would be McKenna, yes. Or it could just be thematic. We are a week away from Halloween, so it's a spooky.
Yeah.
All right, so we are working on this. So what I'm doing here, like I really like the background that we used for this. because with the Pinterest board you sent me, so the inspiration for the overall shoot, I'm like, okay, a lot of these images are black and white and sepia because color film was not a thing yet. And so when I set this scene up, when I set up the studio, I set it up with black and white in mind. But even so, the color works out very well.
Yeah. What I like about the brown especially is that the corset is more of a like rusty type of like it's a very muted pink, as are my hair flowers. But the ribbon in my combinations is like bright neon pink. And I think that like the brown background does a lot to like tone that down a little bit so it doesn't look as bright next to the dustier colors in the rest of the ensemble.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, Also, shout out to a couple places where I got the things I didn't make. The wig is and the fan, as well as some of the other handheld accessories, parasol, mask, etc., are from the Costumer, which is a local costume shop in Schenectady, New York. They have a lot of really cool stuff, lot of really high quality stuff. So if you are in the New York area or want to shop online, they do good work. Hey, listen, I have been told I have no control over my volume, so I do not know when I am shouting or not. So thank you for the feedback. I will have to give it more oomph next time. But yeah, the stockings are from Burnley and Trowbridge, which is a historical fabric and crafting retailer. I think they're based out of either Virginia or Pennsylvania, somewhere in that upper southern part of the United States. And then the shoes are from American Duchess, which they are an online retailer that specialize in historical reproduction shoes from medieval period up through like the 1940s. So I've tried to be as accurate as possible.
Yes.
To what would have been worn at the time.
The shoes have been in multiple shoots.
Yeah, I love those shoes.
Those shoes have starred in a couple of them.
They were a Christmas present for my husband several years back, and I love them.
So,
yeah.
like already, like, so McKenna, I'm using a different program tonight for photo editing. So
yeah, because Adobe has done the bad.
Adobe has done the bad. So I have canceled my Photoshop subscription, and so I was looking for a good raw photo editor, and our friend here, Low Base Guy, I was catching a stream of his. Because I was working from home that day, and so he was streaming in the daytime. And he was using a program called Capture One.
Mm-hmm.
I just got the notification for the update. So I haven't played around with them yet. I also don't know if that... So when I bought this, I bought just the straight license. I didn't want to bother with subscription. I just plunked down the $300 and bought the program outright because I am sick of the subscription model. But this program has just been amazing.
Good.
I have fallen in love hard with this program. And
the user interface looks fairly like clean. One of my criticisms when I used Adobe was there was just like so much going on and I didn't know what any of it was. It was all unrelated to the type of work I specifically was doing.
So because I've used Photoshop for years. It never felt clunky to me after a certain point, but I could certainly see how I could
It
certainly
felt crowded, I guess. Like,
yeah. Low base, I don't think I have your custom workspace because I think that's a subscriber perk for your stream, and I am not subscribed to your Twitch channel. So I don't think I have your custom workspace. So one of the things I really like about this is that we have a before and after. So since you're watching my Twitch channel, McKenna, you're on a 7-second delay. You can see a before and after, which I've now put up on the screen. So you see the original image. This was as shot. Nothing happened. And now, after I've done the edits to it, and yes.
very cool.
So I love the before and after setting. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to export it, and I got to tell it where to go. Let's do a full TIFF, and that's going to go into a new folder. No, not the Ethan and Rosemary folder. I can't show that on Twitch. That's for Picardo. And let's call this the Capture One edits. Okay, so you're gonna live in here. And you are number 51. And you are not black and white. Alright, so now, let's see what this looks like in black and white. Oh, I like that already.
Definitely makes the shoes pop more because their, tone was very similar in browns to the background. And
okay, Lobase, I see you have sent me your custom workspace. I am not too familiar with programming language, so I do not know how I install that particular workspace. Because I've never done it before with Capture One, so I don't need to do a whole lot for this one, but let's see if we can. Let's see if we can bring out those shoes a little more. And by extension, you a little more.
Yeah. So the reason that I picked this image as one of my favorites is the posing on it.
Mm-hmm.
So from I say character design because I come from like an art, like drawing background, but there's this sort of trick for drawing dynamic characters where you pick one side of the body that is a straight line and then the other side where you do curves and motion. So this one on the right hand side, you've got like a straight diagonal that like comes down from the head and through the right leg and is with the arm parallel to it, and then you've got all the curves on the other side, so it really makes those gives it a like visual movement even though it's a still image and the pose isn't in motion.
Yep.
Just very aesthetically pleasing.
I think so. It's a very sort of classical pose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're so lucky, Low Base. I found the folder and I literally was about to click save when I saw your message show up. So while he's doing that, let me export this. Shit, I didn't mean to do that. Now I've just saved over it. So let's just undo the black and white. Actually, no. Undo, undo, undo. There we go. I'm still not fully used to the program, so now let's do that. The right one is in my messages now. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's do that again. Let's save it accordingly. Users, me, and you. Capture one. Workspaces. Boom. You all have to restart capture one. Okay. So let's do that then. Hold on. Now I have to see if I exported it. Oh, I did. That's right. I forgot that when Capture 1 does it, it just saves it as version 2. Okay, cool. Excellent. So let's just do that then before I forget. Let's just do some quick renaming. Alright, so let's restart Capture 1 then. So let's close you. And open you back up. Alright, after I do that, it'll... under the window menu... Workspace. Ah, okay. So, now let's have fun with this. We have styles and presets, built-in styles, black and white.
That's cool that you can import things like that.
Yes!
Kind of customize it to your liking.
Like, we've got some built-in styles we can do. You can know black and white punch, soft, we have base edits. We can give it sort of a cinematic look. With the new Capture One update, workspace and presets are now cloud syncable. Ah, nice.
Ooh.
Yes. Cool with warm film. I do like me. I'm gonna be editing some of the film images tonight, actually. So.
Yeah, we took some on an actual like IRL camera.
Oh yeah, on
That's the wrong way to phrase it, but
on my big side of beef, that is my Pentax 645. So. I thought the default workspace was a little unintuitive, so I took a notepad, wrote down the tools I use roughly. Yeah! Well, thank you very much. I'll be sure to play around with this. So, alright. Back to you, then. And let's go back to another image. Let's go to one of... Let's go to one of a... The remaining... Yeah, just the default. Yep. So let's go to you on the prop that came with my house.
yes, the best couch ever.
Oh my god. So this
or the most aesthetic couch ever.
This chaise, whatever you want to call it, came with my house. This was a piece of furniture left behind by the previous owners. It has now featured in 2 shoots.
It's great. It's an MVP. Most valuable place to sit.
Most valuable place to sit. I mean, really, it just works. All right, let's do my standard levels and curves here. Not too much. Like, we used this for your last shoot when your character was getting ready to fall asleep for the night and was reading scandalous smut.
I mean, scandalous, yes. Smutty, eh. I've actually read some of the short stories now, and they are not great. I mean, the ones I've read anyway. I've only read like 4 of them, but yeah, it is what it is. You buy a terrible collection of short stories, you get what you pay for.
I mean, that'll happen.
Yeah, no, I was reading them out loud for some friends, and we were voting on which ones I would read based on the titles of the stories, and the ones we picked were interesting. Granted, they're all short stories, so you don't really have a lot of time to develop your characters all that much. Like, you really kind of have to focus what you're writing about, and I feel like some of them didn't quite focus enough. Like, there was this one where they just kind of dropped that the setting was like this alternate history where Princess Di never died. She was the Queen of England, and Ronald Reagan was her puppet ruler in the United States.
Okay.
And it was like, it's like, no, I don't care about what's happening in the rest of the story. Tell me about that. You don't just drop a bomb like that and then never go back to it.
And then never touch it again.
Nope. Instead we get a grizzled ward veteran and a manic pixie dream girl in a train heist or something. It was...
I mean, yes, but this is fiction.
I mean, the implication was that the American Revolution was never a thing, so... Or if it was, it didn't happen nearly the way we thought it did. But...
Yes, is here to help. I know you are. So one of my favorite tools in this program is the high dynamic range sliders. It allows you to get, allows you to really get a bunch of shadow detail recovery, and also allows you to really just fine tune your highlights. I absolutely love it. Like, this wig looks so good.
Mm-hmm. I was a little bit worried because it seemed kind of like... I mean, it's a prepackaged wig, and it wasn't all that expensive, and you kind of get what you pay for when it comes to wigs, but no, it worked out really well.
It worked. Yeah, it worked out very well.
Mm-hmm. Kind of makes me feel like my grandmother. She had a very similar style for her bangs, and when I put it on, I was like, oh, I'm Gurmommy now.
You brought this on yourself.
I mean, my grandmother was a certified badass, so, like, that's not a bad thing. It was just kind of a weird moment of cognitive dissonance. I have a feeling she would approve of this photo shoot.
Well, good.
Yeah. Um, she apparently showed up to, there was like a parents' night when my mom went to college, and
Actually,
my grandmother showed up in like a slinky red dress, and like because she was a very young mother, everyone thought she was my mom's sister. And they just sort of, ran with it.
I mean, like you do.
Mhm.
But yes, so this couch, star of the show here.
Mhm.
And I just
So like about, oh, continue.
I just like the fact because this was later on in the shoot, and you were just having so much fun. It's just you look so confident, and you're like, yeah, this is what I'm wearing, and what of it?
Yeah. No, there's like other things that I like about this image. I really like how you can definitely like see the hip curve there with the corset that's like really defined.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you can see like where the top of the stockings, which they're kind of obscured in other parts of the photo. So yeah, and I don't know.
Okay. Where did my before and after go?
Did it disappear?
I had a before and after. Where did that vanish to? Okay, let me go back here. Yeah. I had it. Where'd you go? Focus. Ah, there it is. Okay. I'm like, where'd you go? There you are. All right. There's my before. There's my after. Yeah. Like, it doesn't occur to me always. Because when I look at the image in camera and on the laptop, the lighting looks pretty good. And then I get to here and I go, oh, maybe I was a bit too blown out.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I can really see the red in your face, for example. It almost looks like you're wearing blush.
I mean, I was wearing blush, but at this point, I think most of it had like melted, and
Yes.
and now my rosacea's showing.
That's okay, though.
Yeah. I mean, now I'm a little bit more self-conscious about it, but whatever. Also, I wish I had beer and an ice cream sandwich. That would make my life complete right now.
I do. Well, I don't have beer. I have hard cider.
Yeah.
And I don't have any ice cream sandwiches at the moment. Although I am going to be baking some apple snickerdoodles tomorrow with the apples that I picked. I went to Bowman Orchard a week ago.
Very nice.
And I was like, yep, Granny Smiths are ready. Time to get. Just for y'all, I'll walk downstairs and get another. Thank you, low bass. Thank you so much. I appreciate your sacrifice.
We will live vicariously through thee.
All right. There's my export. All right. This time, we're in the right folder, and I'm going to actually name it properly instead of, there we go. Export one image. Thank you. Now let's have some fun with the black and white.
So I don't know what it is about about this particular photo, but I feel like it reads like a really dramatic vignette.
Hey, I'll take it.
Like, I don't know. It's just that it's just speaking to me, I guess.
Well, good. That's what I want.
Also, you're gonna have to figure out again how to do the tintype effect that we were doing in Photoshop with some of my other ones.
Yes, yes, because that's right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that in Affinity Photo. Because because I can open this up in Affinity, but I do not know how to recreate the tintype effect that I did in Photoshop. That's gonna be some off-stream research. Yeah, because Photoshop had the sepia preset. Although, did I do a smart thing and make of that a bookmark? How to do the whole vignette thing? Because that would have just been way too smart of me to do. Oh, I did save it. Ha!
Hey.
Okay. Let's do something a little silly.
I'm all about the silly.
Let's get a little silly here. Let's open this up in Affinity and see if I can try to do something close to the instruction. Let's see if I can adapt this for Affinity. So let's see.
So can you not? So does the other editor not do certain things?
So Capture One is I guess the closest equivalent would be Adobe Lightroom.
Okay.
So it does a very good job for what it does, but for more advanced edits like this, that you actually have to open it up in an actual photo processing program. I mean, you might be able to do this in Capture One, but I'm still way too new and haven't fully figured it out yet. All right, so in Affinity, let's see if we can do this here. Use a gradient map adjustment layer. Okay, so we'll start with that. And we have to change that to set my...
I'm green.
You're currently green. Let's see. I have to go with... Let's pick a color. No! No. Let's go back to green here. Can I get a... Yes, that's what I wanted, the color wheel. So I want for you need to be black. And you need to be... Yes. You need to be... What's my hex code for this?
Ooh, that black and blue and green actually looks really neat.
Congratulations, you've just been shot at by a groovy Dalek. Where are you? Where's my hex wheel? Okay, I need 1F 1 C17, which is that, and No! Damn it. So, we're doing something I've never done before, so, you know. Alright. So, let's pull you back up. Let's start this again. Actually, is there a preset I can use? There we go. So click the lower sword on the left side of the gradient bar. And let's do an RGB value of... RGB needs to go 31, 20, no, 31, 28, and 23. Okay, that's that. Let's go here. That needs to be 164, 158, 145.
I feel like I should be taking notes. I don't know why. I won't ever need this information. But I hear people rattling off numbers and my brain immediately goes into, you must take notes.
No, 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 no. I need you to actually be sort of halfway in between there.
I don't think I ever watched a full episode of Home Improvement.
All right.
I remember bits.
Let's... all right. Let's just go back to the original image. Start over. Where's my gradient? Okay. Now...
Remember seeing bits of episodes. But I have no memory of watching a full one.
I am going to come back to that, but in the meantime... Otherwise, I'm going to be spending all stream trying to figure that out.
That's fair. That's fair. You got more important stuff to do than satisfy my curiosity.
I will show it to you once I figure it out, because now I've got to adapt all of those instructions for Affinity. All right, so back to black and white. Let's see, we have punch and soft. Then we have airy summer. Cinema cool. That's the film look. Boop. I do like sort of that soft look.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see what I can do with just my own sliders.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be one of my stepdad's favorite shows, Home Improvement. But then again, his favorite, and then like he very much liked the whole like manly type show. So he also really loved Married with Children. I think Al Bundy was a patron saint of his. He always used to do like the grunt that Tim Allen would do. . 'Cause, And I was just like, okay. Yes, I get it. I get it. Manly meterificness. I get it. I like that. So, let's do that then.
Whatever that cooler toned one was that just showed up, keeping in mind I'm 7 seconds behind.
Yep.
So there was almost like a cool blue type of.
It's cinema cool. So that one, I'm just gonna leave it up.
Yes, that one.
I will save then 2 versions of this. I'll save my edits, and then I will do a third one with the cinema cool. We can do that. Boop. You have to make that noise, otherwise it doesn't work. All right.
Yes, the sound effects are very important.
Very important, yes. All right, there we go. We saved that one. All right. I'm going to do another color before I switch over to some of the film ones that I shot. Let's do a silly one here. You with the tugging on the string there.
Yeah. So something I was surprised. I mean, I would guess I wasn't surprised by the fact that it existed, but I was surprised by how much I found of really silly lingerie shots from the turn of the century. Like, there were a lot of ones that were just like, they weren't necessarily trying to be sexy. They were just being themselves. And I appreciated that a lot.
Well, I mean, keeping in mind that still at the turn of the century, like, photography was still very much a novelty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was still a cheaper alternative to painting. I mean, that was where portrait photography really started to catch on, because it was far cheaper to sit for a photograph than it was for a painting. I mean, so this was the era of the daguerreotype and the tintype. So people were just, because it was a quicker process, you didn't have to sit for hours for a painter. You could do like sort of silly or, like slice of life sort of thing. You could be goofy a bit because you didn't have to sit still. The shutter speed by comparison was seconds instead of hours. So you could do that.
Yep. And another reason it surprised me was because, like, a lot of the old, the period corset photos that get circulated, the ones that are most recognizable, are the ones that have been edited to make the waist a little smaller, make the bust a little bigger. There were, those have been circulated as, both examples of early photography editing and also, people using them to spread historical misinformation about the way corsets work. And it's like, because those particular images are so at the forefront of my perception of what, like, that style of photography did. Seeing ones where it was just goofy and there really wasn't a lot of, there might have been some post-production stuff that went on, but at least not in the body shaping portion of it that I could tell. It was refreshing.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be.
Yeah, like, I know I've shown it to you, but for the benefit of our viewers here, there's one that I found of, like, this woman, and she's got this massive cat. She's smoking a cigarette. She's got her cat under one arm, wearing her corset, and you can see her bust padding sticking out of the corset, and she just gives no fucks. Like, she's not there trying to be pretty. She's just living her best life with her cigarette, her cat, and her, frankly, massive hat.
Yes, I remember the massive hat.
Mm-hmm. It's like, can I be that lady when I grow up?
You know, when you're not spending most of your spoons at either like your job or taking care of your kid or
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair though, like this is I'm doing the type of stuff now that teenage me.
Whoa, we have a raid. We have a raid from Silver Grains, film photographer. Ha ha!
Hi, I don't know who you are, but thank you.
We have a raid, Silver Grains. Welcome on in, Madagon. Thank you. Come on in. Water's fine. I am currently editing some images from my most recent shoot with my good friend McKenna, who is here on the audio chat. The model is present.
Interjecting occasional contextual information and other quirky commentary.
And other assorted commentary.
Yup.
And not a disembodied...
I mean, I might be a disembodied voice. Who are you to judge?
Little surprises around every corner, but nothing dangerous. Don't be alarmed. But yes, welcome on in. For those of you who are not familiar with me, I am Eroivis. I am also a professional photographer by the name of Brian J. French. And I do all manner of photography, digital, film, cosplay, costume, nude, architectural, cemetery, bunch of stuff. And if you are interested in what I do, there's the link to my card page. That's all the links. So Instagram, Vero, website, Patreon, all of that fun stuff. If you want to check it out and follow, or maybe throw some money at me if you feel so inclined. Whatever you like. But it's all there. It's all there. So
I feel like nude architecture, like if I were to give that a style, I would probably think like brutalist.
I was gonna say, brutalist, yeah. Like,
yeah.
You want nude architecture? Go down to the state campus.
Okay, but also there's some really cool non-brutalist architecture down in Albany too.
Oh yes, and it's wasted on government buildings.
I know! That fucking staircase in the Capitol building.
I know!
It's so good. I walked that once a year for 4 years in high school for my youth and government program, and it never stopped being amazing.
Like that
Did I get sick of the steps? Oh yes, there were way too many steps, but I felt fancy walking up them.
like that Capitol building is like a Renaissance Romanesque style architecture, and the staircase was modeled after the staircase in the Palais Garnier in France. Like,
it's called the $1 Million Staircase because it was the most expensive staircase to be built in America at the time it was built.
And like, you have such gorgeous buildings in downtown. There's an Art Deco building right by the state capitol, and it's wasted on government offices. Like, you know that castle-looking building in downtown Albany? That's the SUNY admin building?
Yep.
Like, that was a train station at one point.
Waste.
Colossal waste. Just a harumph. All right. Back to you here.
Yes.
As we just, you're the star of the show here. I just took the picture.
Yeah. So I think one of the other reasons I like this shoot so much is because I have a really good natural body shape for the Edwardian silhouette. Because unlike basically every other historical era that I can think of, it had a very low bust line. Whereas, earlier in the Victorian period, definitely in the Regency period, when we started moving away from stays, flattening your chest and into actual, like, shape, it's always been like a higher, more elevated bust has been more attractive. And, while I like the way that looks, even with well-fitting undergarments, it's not always the most comfortable for me in the long run. Whereas with the Edwardian silhouette, because it does have the low pigeon-breasted look, it suits the way that I am built naturally. And I can get away with doing, like, having less structure in the top of the garment, because it's not really going to matter, because my body wants to do what the Edwardian silhouette does anyway. And you can kind of see that really well here in this particular angle.
I think for this one, I'm gonna go with the low bases, being a black and white soft preset. That actually looks really nice. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go with that, and just punch up the shadow detail just a skosh here. Yeah, we're still on subject mask, so let's Oh, those are okay. Well, you put them there, so you put them in easy reach for me, so I'll give you the credit for there. Hey, Jay Renzella, welcome. Been a bit.
I don't.
You were saying?
Oh, I was gonna say hello as well. Hi, I'm McKenna. I'm the model. It's nice to meet you.
Yes, it was Jay Renzella who did the sketch of you in the when we did the shoot in the woods.
Yes. Oh, cool. Awesome.
So
then, hello again.
So Jay Renzella is that artist.
Hooray! Hooray for fellow artists. Lifting up other artists. It's great.
There we are. There's that extra shadow detail. Jay Renzella, he is an amazing woodcut artist. And I'm just, I when he does his streams, they're usually on Monday nights, and my Monday evenings are full now between weekly piano lessons, therapy, and now I'm doing a weekly game night with a couple of friends. We're playing the online version of Gloomhaven.
Ooh, fun.
So it's like, hey, he streams and I'm going to bed. Because he's on the other side of the world, so he's in the future.
Yes.
Doing well, good sir.
Pretty decent. I hope that you are doing well as well.
All right. We'll just save you, and then for our next trick, we are going to go to one of the ones that was that I actually shot on film. So the film that I used for this was my standard studio film, which is Ilford Delta 100 speed film. It's this right here, Ilford Delta 100, medium format. So I broke out my Pentax 645 for this one. That big throbbing side of beef. So let's start with you in the mask.
Love this mask. It's so cool. It's metal. guys. It's like die-cut like metal instead of just being like plastic or something else that, you know, is flimsy and whatnot. And
Where did you get? Was this mask from your job, or did you order this?
this was also from the costumer.
Okay.
Which, full disclosure, I do work at the place where I got all of my accessories, but I would still shop there even if I didn't work there. So now I just get the benefit of an employee discount. Yes, if you are ever in the Capital District of New York State, check us out. Also, check us out online at thecostumer.com. You can also rent shit from us, like full costumes if you wanted. It's pretty cool. But yeah, love the mask. I feel like this photo should be on like a circus poster or something. Like, or like it's the type of photo that you would find in just like an old wooden box in someone's attic of a house that is probably super haunted.
Very probably. Yeah, what is OBS is giving me a warning? What is my streaming software telling me? Encoding overloaded. Consider turning down video settings or use a faster encoding preset. That's new. I don't usually get that error. I wonder if my computer is trying to do something stupid like download a Windows update in the background. I hate when it would do something like that. All right. It seems to have resolved itself, so we'll go back to what I was doing. All right, so for this, I need to play around with my contrasts. Are you going to behave?
No, never.
Never. Nope, you can never behave again. Nope, we're still being overloaded. What's the problem? What the hell are you doing in the background that I don't know about? Oh,
I mean, it doesn't seem to be affecting what I see on the streaming end at all.
No, it's not affecting the actual stream itself. It's just, it records all my streams in the background. So what it does is that we're gonna have a little bit of stutter in the final video. So
I see.
That's all right. I don't know why it's being a dick, but it is. So back to you. I gotta do first I gotta remove dust and scratches because my scanner don't do that with black and white film. Although, fortunately, on this image, there's not a whole lot of it.
I almost feel like it kind of, like a few here and there would kind of like add to the vintage vibe, I guess. Make it look like an antique a little bit.
It could, yes. Although, it annoys me.
That's fair.
It annoys me. I'm just like, no. I don't like dust on my negatives. Yes, I know it'd be a bit authentic. All right, you're still giving me that warning. So let me see if I can just let me see if we turn off the slideshow and black here. See if that that helps. So it's not constantly taxing it. All right. Any more major dust and scratches that have escaped my notice. Aha.
You thought you could escape.
Basically.
Brian was too tricky for you. He saw through your ruse.
Well, it's also because occasionally my monitor is super dusty, and so sometimes it's like, is it on my monitor or on the image? You decide.
Flip a coin, you got a 50-50 shot.
Basically. All right, so let's then do a slight crop. And for this, I want an unconstrained crop. I want to bring it down just a little bit.
Yeah, get rid of some of that empty space.
Yes. All right. Then okay, now let's do a background mask. So yep.
I mentioned before that this kind of reminded me of like a circus poster. So that and the fact that I was talking about my job. So the thing I actually do with the customer is I put together wardrobes for scholastic and community and collegiate theater across the United States. People will rent their entire show wardrobes from the customer, and we will put them together, send them out. It's a lot of fun. So I'm currently working on a Midsummer Night's Dream. And instead of running away to the forest, they are setting this in the 1910s, and they are running away to the circus. So I've been doing Shakespeare as if it were like a turn-of-the-century circus, and it's been a lot of fun. However, I have questions for the director, because they put in a lot of like little director's notes on their costume requests, which is good. However, they have made Titania Oberon's sister. And I want to know in what universe you can put on a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream where Titania and Oberon are making their marital problems everybody else's problem and somehow make that sibling rivalry. Like...
That sounds mildly like, it smells a wee bit like censorship is going on.
I don't know. Like, maybe? It is a high school. But...
Easy, you change that setting to West Virginia.
Listen. So, Oberon is also being played by a female actor. And I do not know if they are portraying Oberon as female. But I've been playing a lot of the Fatal Frame series, which, for those of you who may be familiar with it, has more than 2 instances of sapphic-coded twins. So, like, that was really weird.
Yeah, I can see it.
That being like, so are they doing the Sailor Moon thing, where they're now like lesbian?
Yeah, they're just gals being pals.
Just gals being pals? I don't know. I really don't know.
And there was only one bed.
Yeah, but I love how every time I've mentioned that particular directorial choice to someone, they've just been like, what the hell?
So apparently me turning off the image slideshow calmed OBS down. Apparently was having just a big problem with that tonight for some reason. So,
Cool.
all right. So now we do the before and after. So here's our original image. Here's our as shot, as scanned. Here is our after. And I think that works out very, very well.
It's amazing what just darkening the background a bit does for it.
Contrast!
Yeah!
Contrast, ladies and jelly spoons.
Ladies and jelly spoons, I like that. I'm gonna have to steal that.
I can't claim credit for that. That's Eddie Izzard. Or Susie Izzard, as she goes by now.
I mean, she said she still responds to both, so I mean,
Yes.
It's not like you're doing a bad by using one name over the other.
Miss Izzard. But yes, ladies and jelly spoons. That was from the Dress to Kill stand-up special.
It's been forever since I've watched that. It's probably why I didn't remember it.
Oh Jesus. That's also why OBS is freaking the fuck out.
Oh, what is?
I'm exporting the image and it was just like, how big is this file?
Very big.
Just 48 megabytes. I mean, come on. Come on. Come on. I have Photoshop images that are bigger than that. By a long
Sounds
shot.
like your computer needs to take a chill pill.
Seriously. And let's do another film one while I am here. How much time do I have? I've got like 45 minutes. So let's do this one. Let's you in the chair with the umbrella and the mold here.
I bought that wire dress form on Amazon because it was legit the smallest waist size that I could find on a dress form for a reasonable price. And I was doing a commission for a friend who, in her corset, had a 25-inch waist.
Oh wow! Oh, so this was a commission.
Yeah. Yeah, I purchased it because I was doing a commission for someone with a 25-inch waist, corseted, and my dress forms don't go that tiny. So I needed to be able to put it on something to make sure it was the right size. It wasn't perfect, but it did the job.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a very tiny girl to start, so the 25-inch waist was not all that much reduction to begin with. But you know, I like this one. It's quirky. It's fun.
You made do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this has a few more dust on it, so let's break out the Hoover here.
Also, I realized that, so I at the beginning of the stream, I went over the pattern that I used to make the combinations, but I did not talk about the pattern that I used to make corset. Which
yes.
is, so that is also available on Etsy from, I don't know if this is the right pronunciation, but it's a seller called Karmaxylia, Karmaxylia. It is a mid-1900s, so like 1906, I think, was the year that she put on it. Yes, 1906. Mid-bust Edwardian style S-bend corset with the suspenders, and honestly, one of the best digital patterns that I've ever used. she did this cool thing with the PDF where every size is on a different layer, so you can just hide the layers for the sizes that you're not using, so you don't waste ink printing them, which I love.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see you. Be gone.
But yeah, and I could have done a bit better on the actual construction of it. There are many more wrinkles in it than I would prefer, but not terrible. It never ceases to amaze me how much more texture you can see on these black and white images.
This is why I love shooting in medium format, because of that exact thing.
Like, I don't think I noticed the clocking pattern on the ankle of my stockings in any of the other photos, but you can see them in this one. And like you can see like the weave of the fabric. Like, man.
So before I started shooting in medium format, I, like every other student photographer, it was 35 millimeter. That's what we did. And then one of the classes that I took was called Alternative Process. And so this was, non-traditional photography, which, all right, cool. And so my introduction to medium format was by using really a piece of shit plastic toy camera called a Holga, which made its debut in like the 60s or 70s. And this thing is a real piece of shit. It's plasticky. It's prone to light leaks. It's just a shutter. There's no light meter. There's nothing. It's a crap viewfinder that's off center, and just this little push button that's just, the shutter speed is however long you hold down the knob for.
Oh, that is an ugly camera. Looking at pictures on Google.
Ain't it just?
It does not surprise me that it came about in the time period you said it did. It definitely looks.
And it was so prone to light leaks. It was very common to have duct tape or electrical tape on the seams of the back of the camera to try to block light leaks. But for some people, light leaks were part of the aesthetic. And I'm just like, no, I am firmly in the camp of Edward Weston and the rest of the Group F64 photographers in the 30s. Crisp, clear, straight photography. So I experimented with this, and, I came up with some pretty decent images for what it was. And I'm like, but I wonder what these images would look like if they were sharp and in focus and using a proper SLR. So I saved up money from photo shoots and from Patreon, and when I was a Twitch affiliate, any money I made from Twitch, and saved up, because you can buy used medium format SLR cameras on eBay for about $600 to $800, and that's with the lens. And so I got one during COVID. And I started shooting, and I announced this on Facebook when I bought it. And one of my photo professors, who I'm still friends with on Facebook, said, just warning you, once you shoot medium format, you're never going to want to shoot 35 millimeter again. Because the detail is that much better. And so I went, because it was COVID, I couldn't, do a photo shoot with people. So I went to a cemetery and started shooting images there. And when I developed those couple of rolls of film, I saw how good those images were, and I went, oh crap, he's right. I don't want to shoot 35 millimeter anymore. And so that's sort of now when I shoot film, it's sort of become my go-to now. I still do shoot occasional 35 millimeter from time to time, but now whenever I shoot film, my default is medium format. Because, I mean, you notice it right off the bat, how much more detail you get on on a medium format negative. I still have that Holga, by the way. I haven't used it since that college class, but I still have it.
I mean, it is a part of your history.
It is, it is. Yes, bot. I'm going to hydrate. Just. Have I ever shot large format? Not yet. I have a large format camera that I need to find a lens for.
So here's a question for the uninitiated, aka me. What is the actual difference between medium format 35 millimeter and large format? Like, is it the size of the negatives themselves?
Yeah, so, to answer this question, I am going to show you. And I'm going to show anyone else who is currently watching on Twitch. I'm going to show you the visual difference between 35 millimeter and medium format. This is something that I typically do when I do my film negative, when I do my film developing streams. I show you what the difference is. So, it's film, so let's break out the white gloves. Alright, so I know, McKenna, you're on a 7-second delay, but this is a 35 millimeter roll. This is what 35 millimeter looks like. Everyone knows what it looks like. This is you know, we've all seen it. Well, I say we've all seen it. I may be severely dating myself if none of you, if I have youngins watching who have never seen film. So you see that, McKenna. That's 35 millimeter.
Yeah.
You know, you've all seen it. Now I'm going to pull out the roll that we shot during the shoot. This is what medium format looks like. I'm going to put a side-by-side comparison. Notice how big the medium format negative is compared to a 35 millimeter negative.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
So, if we're basically, if you shoot with a larger negative, it's basically the equivalent of more resolution. You have a larger surface area for light to strike, which gives you greater detail.
And it boggles my mind that, because even though it's like bigger than the 35 millimeter, it's still relatively small, all things considered, for an image. And the fact that it can capture that much detail on like a couple inches of material is like mind-boggling.
So, and medium format also has the advantage of being shot in multiple sizes. So my camera is set to shoot each of these images. It's about 1.5 inches by 2.5 inches each exposure. Other medium format cameras allow you to shoot in square format, so like 2.5 inch squares. So this strip would have 3 images on it rather than 4. And some SLR cameras have interchangeable camera backs. So because my camera shoots only in this rectangular format, it means I get 16 images per roll. If you are shooting in the square format, you get 12. The Holga has interchangeable backs, such as it is. But yeah, so, and the medium format size was the standard size in film photography for many years. 35 millimeter was, for several decades after it was invented, it was exclusively Hollywood film stock. 35 millimeter was for motion pictures. 35 millimeter did not become the standard for amateur photography until the 60s. Before that,
All right then.
yeah. So 35 millimeter was exclusively Hollywood.
Hollywood ruins everything.
Well, and also, you know, when Kodak made photography available to the masses, a lot of professional photographers were pissed about how, you know, now you're letting the common rabble access to this. It's like, I'm like, you snobs. Yes, Jay Renzella, such strange artifacts from the 1900s. Yes. I don't actually have it within easy reach, but if you want to see a strange artifact, I actually do own a 1942 Kodak Baby Brownie camera. I don't know if it works. I'd have to get some film, because they still make film for it. I'd have to get it.
I also have an antique camera, but I don't know how antique or what year it's from because I bought it specifically so I could paint it to look like the camera from Fatal Frame Crimson Butterfly. And I did, and now it sits on a shelf looking fancy and unable to actually be used as a camera.
You know, like you do.
Listen, I love me some Fatal Frame games.
I know you do. And I just find it hilarious that me, as a photographer, have never played the Fatal Frame games. I know of them.
Yeah, well, like I said, there are 2 of them on Steam now, and one of them I would recommend playing. The other one, I guess, is considered just okay, and also does some weird stuff with the narrative that I'm not a particular fan of. But I'm playing the 4th game, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, on my PC right now, and it's good. They made the mistake, though, of using the original textures for, like, the environments and whatnot for the remaster as the ones they used in the original Wii release, and so the textures are pixely as all get out if you zoom in on them, but it's still fun, and the characters look great.
And my bot just told me it's time for a photography fact, even though I've been spitting out a bunch of them. So sure. I'll spit another one out. McKenna, give me a number from 1 to 101.
Well, I gotta go with 101.
Okay, let's see what on my list of 101, what is it? Let's see. So, I mean, it's not really a fact, it's speculation. It says, according to predictions from the Cooperative of Photography, here's what's next for this art form. Cameras with hundreds of megapixels of resolution, completely flat cameras with no moving parts, and smart cameras that can be controlled with eye movements or even brain waves.
The future!
The future!
Oh, so can I share a photography fact?
You absolutely can.
So, I mentioned before or earlier in the stream about course of photography, things being edited to make wastes smaller and whatnot. And actually, this picture that we have up right now it was very popular to shoot these photos against dark backgrounds, because then once you got the actual print, you could just paint black where the waist is to make it smaller without covering anything in an unnatural, air quotes, way. Because the black paint would just blend into the black background of whatever the model was standing against.
Mm-hmm.
So it would actually be really easy to do that with this one, especially on the left-hand side of the photo, to nip the waist in there more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could probably do it with the right side too.
Oh yeah.
Except for how that works with the arm.
Photo manipulation has always been around. Like when Jay Ranzella, you got a photography fact. Go right ahead, fire away. I'll finish my thought. Like in the early days of photography, like you had snobs, the art snobs of the day, saying, "Oh, photography's not real art. A machine makes it. It's not real." So photographers would very much manipulate their negatives to make the photograph look more painterly. So like when you'd have a photograph, you'd have a wet negative or a wet plate or whatever, and they'd be adding brush strokes and like Julia Margaret Cameron made a career of this. Like to give sort of like an ethereal effect, you'd swipe Vaseline on the lens, for example. So I mean, there were the tricks have always been there. In high school, I worked at a drugstore with a 1-hour photo. My coworkers discovered that if you licked a certain part of a disposable camera, you'd get a shock. They used to huddle around doing this. Don't we all feel smarter? Oh, you mean the battery that was used for the flash?
Teenagers. I say this as a former teenager.
You know,
I was a dumbass. Teenagers are dumbasses.
All right, let's go back. We've done a couple of the film ones, so let's go back to... Let me see if... Silvergrains, you have a photography fact. Fire away! I'm going to pick one of my favorites from this set.
Yes, please do.
That one. You'll see it in a minute.
Roughly 7 seconds. Oh, yes, this is also a good one. I'm falling out of my corset, but my face is just so dang cute.
Your face is so dang cute, and again, yeah, you're spilling out, but you're still covered. You're decent.
Well, yeah, it's more of a I didn't actually make the cups large enough on this one. I did add a little bit more than was on the pattern, but I didn't add enough space, and so it's more of just a craftsmanship. Like, oh man, McKenna, you just fucked up that one thing, and now it doesn't fit right. more so than it is an aesthetic thing.
It's like, crap, that's all right. But you just look so cute. The delta in Ilford's line of films is from the triangular-shaped grains that interlock for the sharper coverage of the films. I did not know that. And I shoot exclusively with Ilford Delta. Ha!
Hooray for learning things.
Yay! Learning things. So the triangular... Wow. I genuinely did not know that. And again, this is from someone who shoots, when he shoots film, just uses Ilford Delta exclusively. So, nice. All right, what am I doing? Oh, yes, I'm adjusting things. That's what I'm doing. Just make you a little darker in the background. Are you dust? You're a piece of little skin that I'm just going to just boop out. Yes, this was toward the end of the shoot.
Yeah, you can see my makeup starting to melt, especially on my nose.
Your makeup is starting to melt just a little bit. You know, you've taken the curls out of the.
I mean, the curls didn't want to stay in the wig anyway. So it actually was a pretty quality wig for what it was. And it had like that huge sort of like cottage loaf bun in the back, but instead of being like all of the hair styled in one way, it was like 6 individual like ponytails that were then curled up and then pinned to make it that bun shape, and the bobby pins just kept coming out.
Yeah, the bobby pins decided they had enough.
Yeah, like they were coming out when I got it out of the package. So, but like I don't know, it's like seeing the curls down. It's sweet. I like it.
I've been shooting mostly FP4 lately, but in sheet film. So that's what large format is. So Silvergrains asked me if I shot in large format. No. So with a large format camera, the negatives are not. It's not a roll. They're actual sheets, and they start you can get them as small as 4 inches by 5 inches, but you can go to like 8 by 10 or sheet negatives. And you load them into the camera, and it's like that old timey, like you've seen, like the accordion style camera bodies. You know, the photographer puts the cloth over their head so that they can look into the ground glass to make sure that the image is centered. And again, I have one of these cameras. Ethan bought it for me when a photographer was just unloading a bunch of their stuff because they were moving or something and just had all this old stuff lying around. And I got a large format camera that just needs a lens. I've been wanting to shoot with it forever. Or learn how to. I've never shot large format. Alright, about 15 minutes or so. I'll definitely be working on... I have 2 lenses for my 3D printed 4x5. Yeah, I gotta take a look. I know B&H is typically my go-to for all things photography. So I gotta look there, and if not, then I will have to go to... I'll have to go to eBay for... see if I can find the lenses. I know the brand. The camera, it's a Graflex camera. But I have to see what specific lenses we're dealing with. All right, let's do that. I do like this facial expression because you just sort of have it like aw, me sort of look.
Wistful.
Uh-huh.
Too. I just noticed I have like a huge scratch on my arm.
You do, yeah. I can fix that.
I mean, you don't have to. It was more just of a, that come from? 'Cause I have no memory of scratching anything.
Cannon shout. Thank you so much. Very classic inspired pinup almost.
I mean, that was we were going for a sort of turn of the century boudoir vibe. So I guess, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah, you have this one going on with the you're posing, with almost as a sort of a come hither look on the couch there.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much, Cannon Shout.
Yeah.
Yes, so back to you. Getting close on finishing this one, and then I think I'm going to do one more after this before I call it a night, because alas, it is still a work night.
Yeah.
I know, it's terrible. Burlesque. That's the word that he was... Okay.
Yep.
I don't know, McKenna. You thinking about taking up a career in doing burlesque shows?
Listen, I can't dance to save my life, so probably not.
Probably not. All right.
Yeah, no, I'm a much more behind the scenes type of creative. And I have friends who do burlesque, and I love and admire their art, but it's not something I think I could ever excel at.
Fake it till you make it.
Okay.
You can't
I
dance,
mean,
but can you sing?
I really can't sing all that well either, so... I mean, sort of. I'm just, severely out of practice. Also, not a lot of songs are written for low-range altos to take a melody, so...
Yeah.
C'est la vie. No. When the altos do get the melody, though, it is a thing of beauty.
It is a thing of beauty. I mean, I'm in the choir that I'm in. I mean, whenever the basses get the melody, it's like, oh, hey.
Yeah, no, when we did in my college choir, when we did California Dreamin', and it was like, okay, sopranos, sit down. It's our turn to shine.
Ha ha! Ya jerk! Should listen to the Straight No Chaser parody of All About That Bass. I will say, I like... It's all about no... I also really like the postmodern jukebox version of that. How are you supposed to be a bombshell if you can't sing or dance?
Listen, I never claimed to be a bombshell. Those are your words, not mine. I'm just adorable.
Yes. I will say, though, that the outfit you wore for your LARP, that sort of Joel Grey MC outfit, I wanted to do a photo shoot with you right then and there and just ignore the rest of the action because you look so good in it.
I mean, if we want to do a tail suit shoot, we could do a tail shoot suit at some point. It's not like I lack for access to tail suits.
No, obviously. I was just like...
Honestly, though, I don't know. I kind of felt like I kind of failed the makeup a little bit, and with the haircut, because I got my haircut that day, I was kind of going for a 40s page boy, and with the top hat and the pale makeup, I kind of just felt like I was straight out of A Clockwork Orange.
Okay, I see that now.
But Yeah, no, the no one looks bad in a tail suit if it is well fitted.
Like, I know that the setting was entirely inappropriate, but I half expected you, just in the middle of the action, just to confuse everybody, just take the Willkommen, bienvenue, willkommen. Just start breaking out in cabaret.
I mean, if I were to break out into song, it would probably have been one of the ones that the is it the Looney Tunes that has the dancing frog.
Everybody do the Michigan rag.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
that lovely rag. Yeah, that one. Okay, Michigan J Frog.
Yep. Uh, also, how do you know when a soprano's at the door? Because they don't have a key and they don't know when it's time to come in.
I'm so glad that when my voice dropped, I settled into the baritone range because I did not want to be a pretentious tenor. Like
How many? Oh,
like
sorry.
I know a few sopranos that fit the stereotype of like Carlotta from Phantom of the Opera, you know, prima donna, you know.
How many altos does it take to change a light bulb? 2. One to stand on the ladder, and the other one to stand next to her, saying, "Oh, honey, you can't go that high." Those are the only two music jokes I got.
She'll be here all week, everybody. Try the veal. All right, I like that one, so I am going to just export that, and then I'm going to do one more for tonight. So let's finish up with another one of my faves here. Let's go back up. Let's go with you and with the fan. Let's go with that one to finish out tonight. Meanwhile, while that's going on, I'm going to have to start thinking about if there's anyone online for me to raid into when we're done. But in the meantime, you know, curves are fine. We're going to have to definitely darken you a bit. It's amazing what vignetting will do to an image. And instantly, the image is at least 50% better.
It forces your eye to really focus on what's important, not all of that erroneous background that no one cares about.
That superfluous background. Clay Station is a cool music streamer worth a raid. All right, that's a possibility. I'll take a look on my channel to see if there's anyone who's also doing art at this particular hour. All right, yep, we still need to look at that one tiny bit of retouch that I'm just going to do to take that bit of skin that is coming off of your nose. Nope, no, we're not closing off the nostril there. There we are. That's all I want. Like, I'm just so impressed. You and I did a really good job with, like, the color coordinating of this. This has worked out so well. Also, thank God you picked a wig that I don't have to edit out the visible mesh. That's always fun.
For those of you who have not tuned into a stream that I have done with Brian before, I really like lace front wigs, and I hate bangs. The fact that I had this wig on for as long as I did is an actual miracle.
Yeah.
So I usually have a lace front on, and if you're just like glancing at it normally, like no one's gonna notice. But with photography, when you have time to like stay and like look and see that, yeah, it stands out.
It absolutely stands out, and what ends up happening is like I have to clone it out, and I have to be careful when I do that because I there's a danger of potentially giving you extra forehead.
Excuse me.
Because if I'm editing out the front of the lace, if I can see the mesh, I have to clone that out, and it's just I have to figure out the right combination of hair and forehead. Otherwise, you look like you wind up with way too much forehead.
Yeah, and this wig is also fairly close to my natural hair color, so like there's some like strands of my natural hair that are popping out here and there, but it doesn't matter.
No, it absolutely nope. We don't want to do anything with that wig. That wig is very nicely lit. We're just gonna take that, leave that right there. We are gonna tone down some of the highlight though. This is what happens when you look directly into a softbox. But before I forget, thank you so much for being on tonight. This has been fun.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's I have missed the opportunity to get to do some of this stuff again, and hopefully we will definitely have another opportunity next month. So
Yes, because we're doing another shoot with McKenna in just a couple of weeks.
yep, which I'm super excited for. Gonna have a friend with me, Lily. She and I LARPed together back in the summer, and we're gonna do a shoot with our characters. Gonna be a fun time. Also, Brian,
Yes.
I have 3 words for you in terms of something I am working on right now.
Yes.
Steampunk poison ivy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Seamus told me I had to be poison ivy for Halloween. So that's the thing.
All right.
The full outfit isn't going to be done for Halloween, but hopefully I'll have a corset done by then.
Well, I am very much going to look forward to that.
That might have to be like a spring shoot, though. I feel like we need to do that outdoors.
Very probably.
Maybe like the Rose Garden or something.
Ah, that's a I was just there too, like back in it was Labor Day weekend. Testing out my my old toy. No, I mean old toy. I had to back over the summer. I officiated my mother's wedding, and her husband, my shiny new stepfather, gifted me his old Canon AE1 camera, which I'm now holding up for all to see. This camera was made it was made between 1979 and 1986. It is a fully manual 35mm camera. And I put it through its paces at the Rose Garden in Central Park in Schenectady. And not too bad for a 40-year-old camera. All right, let me see my before and after with this one. There's my before, there's my after. Yeah. Nice. And just also, thank you, Low Base, for introducing me to this program. I absolutely love it. Like, I feel like my own photography has leveled up after this.
Achievement unlocked.
Seriously. It's like I'm just unlocking skill trees left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Come out as bisexual and you get a severe urge to learn how to make cocktails. Get a new program and it's like, oh, I can do things. Alright, let's black and white this thing, and then I'll do my usual recap, and we'll call it a night. And we'll make the background even darker still, because contrast. And we'll make you a little lighter, but not too much lighter.
I just need to pick which one of these I want to add to my metal print collection.
Oh yes. And I will get back at, I will figure out how to do the tin type thing. Because I'm definitely going to be editing more of these off stream, because after today I won't be streaming for 2 weeks because I've got plans. Next weekend I'll be away. And yeah, so 2 weeks from now I'll be getting back to doing more photo editing and also starting my next video game, which is going to be, it's going to be another anniversary special. It's in celebration of its 25th anniversary. I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Final Fantasy VIII, which I have not played since I was 16. So I had a pretty shitty opinion of Final Fantasy VIII back when I was 16. I want to see if, 22 years later, if my opinion changes. Yeah, I like that. I like that a ton. So, I export that. I think we done good, McKenna.
I think we done real good.
So, as is my usual custom, let's go into what we did tonight. Let's see what we got. So let's pull up Bridge. So in no particular order. So we've got the 2 film ones that I did tonight. So we've got you and you here. So this was the film that I developed on the Artist Together raid train a few weeks ago. That was fun. And then we've got the one that I just worked on. And then we have you and you. That was the first one I worked on. And then we get our little cheeky corset adjusting. And then we have you on the couch along with the black and white that I edited. And then the one that had the sort of bluish hue to it, the cool setting to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have you looking all precious and adorable.
Yay.
So cute. But that's not a bad 2 hours of fun there. So, and
It really isn't.
so again, thank you all so much for spending your Thursday evening with me. I always enjoy the pleasure of your company. So one last time, if you are curious about what I do, there's the link to my card page. That's all the links. So Instagram, Vero, Patreon, website, all there. Give me a follow there. Maybe join my Patreon, throw some money at me. You know, I have no shame. Join my Patreon at $5 a month or higher, and you get a physical print every month of one of my images. So,
Sounds like a fantastic deal.
It's a fantastic deal, but only if the price is right. But yeah, so let's see. Let's go check out somebody to raid. I just want to see if there's anybody on my channel doing art. Actually, Jay Renzella, who was in my chat earlier, is currently doing a stream. He is currently doing an artist study. And I'm going to see what he's doing after the ad finishes out. So yeah, you know what? I have not rated Jay Renzella in a long, long time. So that's where we're going to go next.
Right, well, I'm going to peace out here because I need to go to bed. But this has been grand. Thank you, everyone who showed up to chat with us. It was a pleasure.
And thank you. And I'll be seeing you soon, obviously.
Yes.
And yeah, and as I edit more of these, I will do what I usually do. I'll put them on the Google Drive folder for you. So
awesome. Can't wait to see the results.
All right. Thank you, my friend. You have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you. Night.
Good night. All right, and for the rest of you, there's the raid. We're gonna go over to raid Jay Renzella. So again, amazing artist. I've just we're gonna have a blast together. I'm gonna be there for a little bit before I head off to bed myself. So again, thank you so much. And until I see you all again, stay healthy, stay safe, all that fun stuff. Good night. And joy be with you all, everyone. Be well.